So I thought I'd run a little a short clinic today to try to teach mostly what I consider the basics, and then some slightly more advanced techniques that should help raise your level of play. And like any sport, once you can do the basic stuff, it gets to be a lot more fun. Once you can, you've seen everybody who starts playing, when they see 2 discs, including me, they go, you just panic for a long time, and then like your 5th or 6th time playing, you're like, oh wait, that one's coming in first, and then it becomes a new level of fun. So I was just going to start with, and if I could get somebody just to catch discs over here. So I'm going to have, I think, 5 topics today. First will be basic throws, just the throws that you need to become a solid player. Next will be my approach to playing front defense. Then instructions on playing back, which is where I usually play. Some notes on strategy. And then at the end, some more advanced throws. You've probably seen me throw a bunch of weird throws that I throw much more in pickup than I do in a tournament, but I'll do those at the end. So really you can become a very good player with just one throw. You know, the most fundamental throw, and probably the easiest for everyone, is just the backhand. I assume most people here are right-handed, and so for some people it's hard to get used to these. But the big thing about these light discs is they like a clean release with good spin. So like I've seen people come from golf and they're used to throwing like a max weight destroyer. Not going to work with these. So the way I learn to throw them is to get it very curled up. I don't reach back here like I'm throwing a distance drive. I just make sure I get it curled and that it pops out my hand. And you can see you don't need that much effort to throw it as far as you need for the sport. Good. So, and also feel free, anybody has questions, ask at any time. So with that throw, you can go far. In fact, the person who is probably the best female player of all time, Liz Herrick / Applegate, that's the only throw she had, and she would get to the top levels playing open with a partner with just a backhand, because she was so accurate. She could throw it even with the wind pushing it. The next throw you'll want to learn, and it's mostly for attacks, of course, is the 2-finger. You probably already know this, but my quick advice on that is most people who are learning it try to throw it like a ball with a lot of arm. It won't go anywhere because it didn't come out clean, it didn't have spin. So what you need to do is slow down the arm, and what you're going to do is time the snap where you use a lot of wrist. And when you snap it, you don't roll over like you might with a ball. You keep the palm of your hand straight, like you're slicing a piece of cake, or something like that. So it comes out clean, and that'll take practice. And so for the best thing you can do to improve your game, if you're really serious, is go find 8 cones, get a bag of discs, find a field near where you are, and just go out and throw for 30 or 45 minutes. I do that before tournaments. I do that just as, I call it field therapy, just when I need a break from work. I'll just go pace off courts with cones. I got a bag of discs, and I mostly throw not even burns. It's because I play back, and so it's more important to get the rally shots in. So that's the basic throws. Now, I don't. Maybe Stefan and Tomas. Could I get Stefan and Tomas here, because we're gonna need to time some attacks, and I'll need one volunteer. Daniel, do you mind coming up?
Yeah, of course.
All right. So I'm going to move on to the basics of playing. Thank you. Basics of playing back. So I mean up front, the other one. So no, I'm gonna give, yeah. So you'll be back. Yeah, so front is the player who plays the second disc, the attack disc. So I get them. And so the most important thing, you're kind of like a goalkeeper in football. I'm here, so I got to remember I will call it football. That's actually what it should be called. And so, anybody here ever play a goalie in soccer? Okay, here we go. When somebody is going to take a shot, what is the most important thing for the goalie? It'll be when you see where they're kicking from, what do? You get in the right position, right? So that is the first key to playing front, is thinking about positioning. And so let's say that Stefan is going to burn me. What I'll do is, he looks like he's going to throw a two-finger. This is his strong side. Most fronts, in my opinion, play too far up here. Now that makes it hard. If he throws it to my side, it's hard to move directly sideways. I like playing farther back than most fronts. I will play back this far, because if he throws it just over the front line, I'm a step and a hop from getting it. But now, if he throws it to the side, it's much easier to move forward to get it. Instead of, that's a lot easier. Like one classic example, and he's gotten better. These guys know one of the best fronts in the game, Sam K. For years, he would play up here. And so you throw a dump, just go ahead and throw a dump, and he's like, and he's super quick, but he can't get it. Now, one of you, now throw a dump. No problem, because I can cover the whole court much easier if I'm a little bit back here. Another key thing that will really help you. So positioning is key, and the earlier you can get in position, the better. So you drop one of those discs, we'll pretend like we're playing a point. So it's our des, so I have to throw. Right now, who is going to be burning? Which one of those? Who's going to be throwing the attack shot? Just anybody say. Yeah, Stefan. So I already know he's the one I have to defend. So I'm going to throw the rally shot. A lot of people will just stand and watch the shot. I watch the player. I'm positioning based on his body.
I'll be off.
Okay, that's good. That's fine. But this will move us to our next topic, and what to do when your back makes a call. So just to reiterate, I find it very useful to position based on the player and not watch the disc up in the sky. Because wherever it goes, he's going to throw it from the ground. I'm sure of that. So, yeah, so like if I throw a rally shot over there, I'm watching him.
Go!
Tip. Up! And now it's easy to play. So that, all these things are things that I found that make everything easier. So now, when you're the front, you're going to get, there's 4 different calls you're going to get. But there's only 2 ways you're going to execute. One is to attack the disc and play it as soon as you can. The other is to go into milk mode and delay as long as you can. So we'll go through each of the possible calls. So I want whoever attacks, I want you to be very late. You're going to tell me time. I mean, you're going to tell me that you're going to throw.
I'll be off. I'll be off.
Oh, okay. So in that case, I went into milk mode, so I backed up with the disc. Now, I want you to be very, very early.
Is that the right call, by the way? I'll be off?
Yeah, some people say me, or my throw, or I'll be off. Yeah, there's not really a standard for that.
All right.
So now, the attack's going to be early, and
I say go.
time. You say time.
Time!
So I could take my time and throw my partner a good lead where he can attack. So now we're going to get to the more interesting ones where the attack has better timing. So first one, I want you to be a little bit late so it be tips. So you're going to call tip. So throw a nice tippable lead. Coming.
Tip.
Oh.
Coming.
Nice
2,
job.
1.
So that one, so he's going to call tip. That means I need to start milking the disc. You saw, if you're watching carefully, you saw me back up a little with it until I hear the sound, and that's my green light to attack the disc. But if my partner says tip, I immediately start moving back with the disc. Now the other call, and you can guess, you're going to be slightly early, so get go call. He's going to call go, and that means I need to attack the disc. The way that call works is I have the option to either grab it and throw it, or I can tip it. So I'll just grab it and throw. I'll do one of each. Give me a go call.
Go.
Oh,
Sorry, I we got a double there.
okay. Did you milk that?
I tried. Oh, no.
So you'll see coming up in back play. If he caught this anywhere but right here, he could use some instruction.
He did the right thing.
Oh, all right. So we'll try it again. So, Tomas, how about a pretty flat backhand lead? Okay.
Go.
Okay. That was a very good burn. Tomas, backhand? Yeah, you give me more. One more. Okay. Okay.
Go.
Off.
Coming.
So there's
3, 2,
the
1.
quick off. Okay, now we'll do one where same thing, backhand lead, and just throw 2-finger at me, chest high.
Go.
Tip.
Off.
So now,
Coming. 2, 1.
Aye.
so that one, he gave me a go call. Oh yeah, that's one other thing I forgot to mention too. If you're when you get a go call, you need to have an idea how much time you have. So what you should do as a front, you want to watch the lead and take like a little movie of it, or start a countdown timer in your head. So go ahead and attack us. I'm watching. Okay, it's medium high.
Go.
Tip.
Off.
I knew I didn't have time to jump, catch it, come down and throw. Because in my head, that was landing. So that can help a lot. Again, any questions about front play? Okay. I think I covered. Yes.
I haven't heard you count down.
Oh yeah, that's true. I do that as a back. I don't tend to do it as a front, but it's not a bad idea.
Question about
here's what he's
countdowns.
talking about. This was taught to me by a Swede named Jonathan Brantberg.
From Team Luke.
From Luke. Shout out Luke.
It's us.
Which, so go ahead and burn a little early. You'll give me a go call.
Okay.
Nice backhand. Okay.
Go.
Tip 2, 1.
Off.
So some people do that to give their partner an idea of how long they have to throw with the tip in the air. Okay. But yeah, that's a helpful. Sometimes, a lot of times I forget to say anything, even as a back. Sometimes I'll just say tip time. Time. Tip time, because, and I'll get to this as back. Normally my tip is in the air, decent amount, and if it's not, you'll hear tip, hold. If it's a really bad tip. So, all right. So, sure, I'll move on to back play. Yeah, this is.
Just in between, communication like this is usually something that you find, you agree upon a way of doing it when you play more and more together. Understand the basics that communicating is extremely important. How much you do it is more up to the two of you. If you want to do all these you can talk about everything, every throw that comes into you. 3, 2, 1, and give a lot of information. Going out, going in. Maybe it's too much for you as a person, and you don't need that. I can hear from Thomas' voice how high it is, because we've been playing since 1981. Yeah.
And I've been playing enough, I know from the sound of the tip. Yeah, exactly. You're like,
Exactly.
oh, that's a good one. I have some time. Or you'll hear like, clunk. Oh, I better be fast.
But it's always good to have that. Maybe tell one thing too much, you think. It's never too much.
Yeah. All right. So moving on to back play. So who can take a guess what I think the most important part of back play is? It's what we started with in front play. It's that positioning. It is absolutely crucial, and people that I train will hear me go on and on about it. And it's still something I was even learning new stuff about it within the last 10 years. So, as a back, you're going to be playing the first disc, also called the lead. And you're going to usually want to do one of two things. You're going to want to tip it if the timing is close, or you're going to want to milk it. So now, the way I approach this is, it's got a tip point. So I take kind of almost like a geometry, a mathematical approach to it. So let's say, hang on a second, but so Tomas throws a backhand lead. Let's say my reasonable tip point is right here, and it's coming, and I could catch it right here. So now I have, these are the 2 points where I want to interact with the disc. So what I like to do is I'm going to position a few steps behind that with that line centered in front of me with, let's say Stefan is burning. I'm going to line him up with the middle of that line. So now I've got this disc coming in. I can see it easily in front of me because I've got everything in front of me, and I can easily get to either of my 2 points once I see the timing of his burn. And I've learned more and more of that, because a lot of backs will just kind of play here, and they'll do okay, and then you'll see as they go to play it, they're right here. What's bad about this?
Can't see the court.
He's got it. I can't see what's going on over here. And I found when I started, this is something I added to my game in the last 10 years. I really started focusing on it. I really like coming into the play from behind. And you'll see a big difference. If you're learning back and you're just watching 2 discs from here, it's usually obvious, like, oh, that one's early. But if you're watching this disc over here or chasing it over here, a lot of times you're guessing. Like, a person I love to pick on, you don't all know him, his name's John Kirkland. He was a very high level back, but he almost always played with his son Cody, who was a phenomenal player. John Kirkland always liked playing like this, but his son was so good that he could kind of bail him out. So I used to give John trouble for that. The other thing is, when do you make your call? So you don't make it as soon as they throw the burn. You make it based on when the attack is arriving. The attack could be slow or fast. I like to make my timing consistent. So I think it's about 1.5 seconds I usually do before it gets to them. So if it's a hard burn, I'll make the call just after they throw it. But if it's a slow one, you can wait and let it come a bit deeper. Some people make the mistake is when they throw a slow attack, they try to make the call immediately. In fact, I did that 2 years ago in the semifinals in San Diego in 2022. Tomas messed me up for a while because I'm playing with, my partner was Arthur Coddington at the time. Stefan would throw a lead, and Tomas would throw, like, he has a very good hard scuba, but he'd throw one like that. And I would immediately make a call, and then it's still coming, and then we're all messed up. So I made the call too early. It took me a little bit to realize that. So yeah, consistent timing with the call will help your front a lot. So I won't go through, I guess we could go through all of them quickly. So the first attack, the attack shot will be very late. So I'm going to tell them that I'm going to get rid of mine. So go ahead and throw a very late or slow attack. So here I am. I can see him. I'll throw. Okay, well, that's a general idea. Again, you'll see me coming into the play from behind. So, oh, that's the other thing. Remember where is front? I told you that the earlier you can get in position, the better. That applies even more to back. So we'll have something like where we say, like, I know that we're Des, and so let's say I'm serving to Tomas. I know since we're Des that Tomas will be throwing the lead. So I've thrown my serve, and I'm already going to position where I think he's going to throw the lead. I'm not really worried about covering the front line. I mean, I've got Daniel up there or whoever my front is. So that's the same thing. And you'll see me if I'm playing well. The key to back is active feet. If I'm playing well, you'll see me. There will be a disc in the air. I'll be watching someone and moving around and getting basically where I need to be to play back. Where I think he's going to throw it, and then a few steps back. So to go ahead and try one, a very early attack. So just like a backhand lead. Time. Off. You see how I had him play his, so I move over and I milk mine. So now these will be more interesting. Let's go with slightly late. Tip. 2, 1, off.
So slippery.
Yeah, put some water on
Wait,
it.
Right, so, and now we'll do, so you'll see again, with the lead, I'm going to get behind the play early. Well, no. Tip. 2, 1.
Off.
Okay, so that one was slightly, so early attack.
Early.
I'll make a go call here. Go.
Off.
So yeah, it was tough, but you see, I gave him as much time as possible. We'll try one more till we get one, and then we'll move on. Okay, go.
Tip.
Off. Nice tip, Daniel. There you go. All right, who here plays back? Yeah, so back, you will need to tip a lot. Tipping took me years to develop. I'll let you know how I think about it. I'm very dominant right hand. So my right hand is my tipping hand. I tried for a little while to tip the other spin with my left hand. Disaster. I am not ambidextrous. I'm often ambiguous or ambivalent, but not ambidextrous. So the way I think about tipping is my right hand is going to tip it. So the left hand should probably do something. So what I do with it is I use it as what I call a rail. It forms a wall that keeps the disc in front of me. So normally you'll see like that. And that way I don't tip it and it squirts back there. So yeah, just start, you'll see these two hands. So that's just, you can throw steeper or anything you want. And I'll be like, tip, here's the two. That wasn't a very good tip, but this hand kept it. Without this hand, that would have gone that way. And that works for, even for, can you throw counter spin? This is, and that's the one that is tougher for me. Don't remember that for this weekend, but yes, Mark.
So where's the sweet spot when tipping with your right hand?
I just consider it to be the middle of the disc.
The middle.
Yeah, and then one slightly more advanced tipping technique. You may see me do this. I'll try to give it a little more spin.
Like cupping at this point.
Would give it more stability. So, you know, that wasn't much, but you'll see, yeah. A little bit like that. You can't do it a lot because it's not a, that would be a lift, yes.
You do the same upside down or?
Yes,
or
go ahead and throw an
the same
upside
technique?
down lead. Same thing, here's the rail. tip. Keeps the disc in front of me. Anything you want. Rail, disc is right in front of me. It makes it pretty easy. As long as you get anywhere near the middle of the disc. Yes?
Is it tip rail or rail tip? Which
Tip rail.
terminology?
Yeah, tip, it will hit the rail second, if at all.
Okay.
The rail is, it's a guardrail essentially, it's protection. But yeah, I don't think, if it hit it first, probably it's gonna mess up the tip. All right, we got the onesie. All right, any questions on playing back? The other thing to mention about back is the back generally controls the game because they are throwing the rally shots. That's the other main job. Everyone thinks of a back as running all the escapes, but it's similar to my experience of a goalie. Anyone here who's played goalie, everyone thinks about goalie as diving and getting the ball. That's 10%, 20% of the job. The rest of it is more boring, like yelling at your team where to be and positioning people and stuff like that. Same thing with back. A huge part of the job is when it's your des, you throw rally shot, and that's what they're going to attack with. So there's a big difference between that, well, you can go catch it, and that. And so I told you I spend a lot of time practicing throwing, and it looks super boring, but it's helped a lot. I practice a lot being able to put, either spin, oh, this might be challenging because it's wet, into the back of the court. And it's a huge help because, yeah, Stefan, do you want to attack from up here or from back there? So
I like to attack from both, but I won't have that much of a chance from back
yeah,
here.
exactly. It makes it much tougher on the other team, and that's one of the hidden things that has really helped me succeed in tournaments is keeping the other team in the back half consistently. Of course, I didn't mention at the beginning the most important 2 words in DDC: throw in. So that's where all that practice will pay off. Yeah.
You talked a lot about early and late arrival. If 2 discs, if they make a great attack, both discs are going to land at approximately the same
That's a
time.
good question.
What's your go-to back call?
Good question. Do you already know the answer?
No.
Oh, that's great. It's even sincere because that's something I forgot to cover. Sometimes on back, you'll just get confused. The timing's really good. If you're confused, call go and then milk the disc and see what happens. It might be you call go and he says hold. You only lose 1. So it's a good question. So it's going to move on to a little bit of strategy.
Conrad?
Yes.
That situation with Daniel, and I don't know really what's happening because I see this is problems for us. As the front, if you have the disc close to you, not that you have to run and dive for catching it, but the burn is coming more straight at you or you can move a little. Tip it.
Yeah.
It's one very good choice.
If you're not sure,
Yeah,
because
if you don't have the hold from your back, I don't know what to do it. I know it's gonna be close. Move up a little bit and tip your disc. If you
yeah,
can do that.
some teams have different approaches. Some will say if the front doesn't hear a call, he doesn't touch it. That's okay because you won't lose 2 generally. Or if you can tip it. Or if you're a front, and we're kind of getting into strategy here. Let's say Stefan knows they're in trouble. I've thrown right in the corner that he almost has to dive or he has to run hard for. You just let it go. You're like, even if I catch it, I can't do anything useful with it. So there are definitely times when the best plan is to eat 1 point, just lose 1. All right, so see what I have on strategy. All right, strategy, there's kind of 2 basic approaches to attacking. We were talking about this earlier. I generally play what I learned from the Swedes is called the American style, which is patient. So when I got very interested in the game, like late 80s through mid 90s, I would watch and you would see a spectacular play where somebody dives and throws it while in the air and they go back and forth, escape, and then somebody can't escape and there's a point. And you're like, wow, that was great. And then you'll see 4 points in a row where somebody just throws a serve out, misses a burn. And I thought to myself, I think those counted just as much as the spectacular point. And so what I concluded is, if you always throw in, you're going to be a pain in the ass to play. So throw in and play defense became my style of play when I was developing. Because for me, defense has always been the most interesting part. So that's kind of what they call the American style. These are generalizations, not every team. But what I think of as the Swedish style is much more aggressive. It's if you're near the front of the court and you can attack, you attack. Even often when it's the other team's does, which I usually wait on that. But I have seen, there are teams. So there's a lot more kind of what you call out of system attacks, and you can it works a lot for teams. And if you are hot, you can win that way.
What he says that the American don't. This is not, of course, not black and white. Definitely not. But the other way, or the Swedish way, is not waiting for the most perfect moment. That's how we see to it. Because Americans may wait a little more until they have. Now it's the time. Now the lead is perfectly high, which is, it's actually the best strategy. But sometimes we are then a little more eager. No, I'll go for it. I'll try to stress them already now.
So when you attack, there's several different ways that you can try to put stress on the defense. The most obvious way is you get both discs there at the same time, and your attack, you try to make the front move. Let's say Tomas is playing front, he's kind of in the middle. I could try to throw it into that corner or over his head. That is the classic attack, and that's what you'll see 80 to 90% of the time. Other attacks, other than just getting him to move, the one I said where you move him back is the dump attack. Go ahead, you can put those down. Get ready to play defense. So just go ahead and throw lead. The dump attack. And the advantage of that is even if they escape, they're throwing from back in the court. So you'll see like a very American style team from a while ago. You remember Harvey and Robbie? They love to throw, go ahead and throw it. Oh, wait. Try to get it toward the back. So you get that. And now you have two of them back there. So even if they escape, they're now throwing two discs from back there. They're probably not going to make a strong attack. So in like four-dimensional chess style DDC, if you do this, they escape, you go, that's fine. But now they've put us right here, and we can really get them. So that's more thinking ahead. The other attack you can do, it's got a weird name, proximity. You try to run them into each other. So go ahead and throw a lead kind of to the front. So now if he's trying to play that, they're in each other's way. That's it. Any questions on strategy? Okay, cool.
What about the we switch points every 5
5 points, yeah.
So what can you say about strategy with respect to playing on like the righty or lefty side?
There is strategy there. So let's assume for now that the wind is going across this way. And you probably already know this, the easiest throw to get in is with the wind on top of it because the wind's not pushing it. Additionally, if it's windy, strategy for the wind is if you can throw with the nose of the disc down, it's going to move a lot less side to side laterally. So if it's windy, I'll throw like that. So that's very nose down. That's not going to move much either way. But if I get the nose up a bit, now that's going to sweep, it's going to stay in. But if it were windy, that's going to blow a lot more. So that's why it's also, once you have the basic throws, if you're right-handed and you throw backhand primarily, if you can develop a counter spin throw. So most good players do that. He's got a good lefty. A lot of people, that could be a sidearm, lefty, like that. Or even a few people, Dieter Johansson will throw that, a wrist flip. So that's also counter. And you'll see
Conrad?
the more experienced players like, who here, Stefan, of here, who here has a lefty? Lefty, lefty, lefty. See, the experienced players will develop both spins, because now, let's say the wind's coming from over there, my righty is going to blow out that side, but my lefty's going to get pushed down. All right, any other strategy questions? All right, we'll go on to I don't know what could have been more fun than all that, but what might be a little more fun is what I call advanced throws. These are ones I don't use as much, but I've got a lot of different ways to throw the disc. I'll just go through them as I can remember them. I'll start with like slow ones. What do we got? So you've seen backhand both ways, two finger. Well, I'll start with one that's actually pretty difficult. This took me years to get good at it. So if you try it, don't get frustrated when it's the backhand upside down. When you start to try it, it's just gonna flip over to the left and go there. I'll give some quick tips, but if you want to come up to me with some more, it did take me a long time, but that's this throw.
Conrad?
Yeah. And so the quick keys to that are you need to stand sideways. You need to pretend like you're throwing in a phone booth. And in my online guide, I make the joke, a phone booth is a box that they used to have that contained a telephone. So what you're going to do, you don't want to extend out here. This is my way of throwing it. You rotate more around the elbow. You need to make sure not to do this. So you want to keep it like this, like you want it to roll. So yeah. So that and
More vertical, right?
and
Release more vertical.
yeah, release it vertically. And there's the equivalent of nose down. This is getting a lot more technical. This is nose up. This is nose down. So I'm going to keep through the throw, I'm going to keep my wrist like that. I'm not going to let it get like that. So anyway, so that's the backhand UD. I think the rest are attack shots. So one that's vaguely similar.
May I step in just for quickly there?
Yes.
On the upside down, one of the best things with authors this throw is that do one to me. So
Yeah.
I'm playing back now. I'm playing back. What am I doing here?
It's very annoying to the back player, and he'll tell
Look
you
at
why.
me now. Because it floats
A little bit like
it comes
that.
straight down, but I'm looking up here
Yeah.
because it may fall down pretty quickly in front of me. So I have to be standing like this. Do I have any idea? To being like Arthur said in this position is very hard.
Conrad.
Oh, Conrad. So
At
yeah,
least it's not
so it's a
Leonard.
very effective throw in that way.
Yeah, so I'll try to throw a better one here. But yeah, he is he's looking straight up.
Where is it?
It's in, and you're looking up here, you can't see what's going on. So, and what I like about it is most leads that are tough to play because they come down fast, because they are close to angle. Like this, that's a tough, that could be a tough lead. But what I like about this is this one comes down slow, but it's a pain in the ass. All right, so the next one is an attack shot. Well, here, I'll show you another throw and I'll have a guess. This is a throw I have not been able to learn in 30 years. It's called a scuba burn. His is very good. So the two finger attack, hang on, easy. The two finger attack is generally a strong side over here. You want one that goes in the other corner. Here we go. You'll throw it over here.
Thomas?
Nice.
Thomas?
So I can throw it, but it has hardly anything on it. Nice. And so when I realized I didn't have a good attack shot that goes to that corner, a friend of mine a long time ago had a shot he would throw just as a deception shot called a staker, and I realized he didn't throw it hard, but I realized you could throw it hard. So you hold it with the thumb in the rim like this. I like the finger on top, I throw it like a backhand roller in golf, low to high, and then you need to twist it over a little. And it goes, so here he'll try it. It takes practice. So that's a staker. I'll go through these quickly. What else? Is the wrist flip. Thumb in the rim. It's over on the right side of your body. To me it's very important you bend the elbow and snap it. It's really useful if you catch one over here and you need to get rid of it quickly. So you throw just an offside. No, two finger, yeah. So that's the wrist flip. Here's one. Mark can do it a little bit. Oh yeah, a couple more. There's one called a hook thumb. I can't throw this one at all. Only a few people can. Wherever Malta went, his is very good. This is going to look awful, but you hold this in here. Needs a lot of snap. Yeah, there you go. He has it. Same. You don't need it because you already have a scooper. And we'll get a little more esoteric. This one is called, I don't know, people call it a Hank bow after Hank Bass. He loves to throw it, a Tallahassee player. It's just a backhand throw where you lean over so much that it's turned over. I don't find it very useful, but he's pretty good with it. And then to finish, real esoteric. I may not even get these in. Here's one I don't use anymore that I discovered by accident. It's DDC's version of a knuckleball. It got named by a guy named John Schiller. It's going to be a wrist flip that has almost no spin. If done right, it flies normal for a while and then it gives, but usually it'll just flutter all the way there. Oh, that's a pretty good one. It was funny. I was just goofing around it was a disc golf tournament, and a friend of mine set up a court, and I just went to give him a disc back, and I don't know why, oh, here you go. And I went like that, and it did that crazy thing, and I was like, oh, what's that? And then,
So it's no spin?
very limited. And most of these aren't worth your time to try to develop. I'm just showing you to be complete. This is called an in flip. It's a sidearm grip thrown as a backhand. Not that useful. Another one I found, but this one I don't really use. Just let it dangle.
Wow.
And a guy named Scott Stokely named that the glazed donut. I don't know why. Any questions about anything?
Backhand burn?
Oh yeah, because I don't throw it. I mean, you can also burn like that, or even like that. So that's it. I think that's all I got.
Thank you, Conrad.
Sure. That's the problem. So generally you're going to throw upside down. It's throw strong side burn over here. If I can catch it with my thumb underneath, that's the best thing.
Yeah.
One more.
I'm working on that.
Let's say I can't catch it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do that.